So once again, now that I think we have probably all of our participants, I want to welcome you to the first of our webinar series for this year. And our guest speaker today is Fred Feldon. He's going to talk about unleashing the power of a tablet PC. And to be honest, Fred is the one person I know who's used a tablet longer than anybody else I know. This webinar is sponsored by the Innovative Teaching and Learning Committee of the AMATYC Association. And this is one of our core values to enhance professional and personal growth of instructors. So this is part of our mission. And the views expressed by the presenter are not necessarily the views of AMATYC. It's pretty hard to not mention at least a few commercial products while you talk about tablets, but AMATYC isn't specifically endorsing any of these. I'd also like to thank my college and the Lift Institute for hosting this webinar. You'll see Don Bogema in the window there. He's part of the Lift Institute, and he's clearing people into the room and helping with any audio issues. So thanks to Don, too. So I'm going to turn this over to Fred and turn off my mic.
There. I think my microphone is on. We've been through an audio test early, but if you, Maria, why don't, instead of having all 40 people do this, can you hear me, Maria? Just give me a yes or no if you can hear my mic. Okay, super. Thank you. So I'm assuming everyone else can hear me as well, and I first off want to thank Maria for all her support in arranging this, and to Maria and everyone else in the ITLC, the Innovative Teaching and Learning Committee, for setting up these webinars. It's just an incredibly awesome idea. Like the rest of you, I typically learn the most about how to improve teaching and learning through my colleagues, not only at my own school, but throughout the country. In the presentations and sessions and hallway conversations is where I often get the ideas that I'm most excited about. So I'm hoping we can convey some excitement in having 46 now of us together online in this synchronous webinar. And it's just exciting. And so thank you, Maria. I'm going to give you some applause right now. Yay. Okay, so Maria, I just cue you for the next slide, right? So let's go ahead and see slide number 2. I do have a webcam, but I typically use it very rarely, if ever. So I just want to connect on a personal basis with you. Look at that handsome family. I have a wife and 2 daughters that are both away in college, one far away and one near the house. And so this just gives you a little picture that you can refer to of my smiling face. All right, let's look at the next slide. As Maria said, I've been using a tablet for many years, 3.5 actually. The first 6 months I owned a machine and nobody knew how to use it. And when I sought help, it was just, I don't have one of these machines. I don't know how to use it. And it actually took me learning from my peers at the ICTCM 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, 3 years ago, I think, to the day, where I was finally able to connect with some colleagues who gave me some ideas on how to use the machine. And then I proceeded to go back and teach my IT department the powers and capabilities of the tablet computer. And the word has spread, and we have quite a few faculty at my college using the tablet. Their popularity has been kind of slow to catch on, but I think this year will be when it takes off. Apple was the first to come out with a tablet. Of course, the iPad, which has sold 5 million units. Pretty soon they're going to come out with the second version of the iPad 2. Samsung released their Galaxy Tab, which is smaller than the iPad, but larger than the iPhone, and I think it's going to take off. Here's just a little picture of some of the products that you'll be seeing. I know that AMATYC discourages use of manufacturers' names, but if you'll go to the next slide, Maria, you can see some of these folks that are coming out with products. I was in the Microsoft store at the mall near my house a couple months ago, and the Microsoft tablet was in the window there. Some colleagues have purchased the ASUS tablet. You know, what's funny is a year ago when I spoke at the tablet PC at AMATYC, I did this same thing where I showed pictures and vendor names of coming products, and I never saw a single one. Ever. But on the last two slides that you've seen, these are some big names. We're talking about HP, Toshiba, Dell, Microsoft, Google. Um, these are some large commercial vendors who typically don't announce products that are vaporware, so I sincerely believe you're going to see these products coming in the next month or two or three if they aren't out already. Let's look at the next slide. Of all of them, my favorite and the one I'm most interested in so far perhaps will be the Zoom, the XOOM from Motorola. And I saw an ad for that during the Super Bowl. I was so excited to see that appear on, one of the most heavily watched television programs and most expensive commercial purchase price ever. And then the other night on the Grammys, I saw an ad for the HP tablet based on the WebOS operating system from Palm, the same operating system used by the BlackBerry. So I saw that during the Grammys. So if you see commercials for products during the Super Bowl and during the Grammys, I suspect that's a really strong indication these products are coming. Maria's posted the link for you to watch the 2-minute YouTube video, and I'm wondering if I should pause for a couple of minutes, Maria, to have folks go and see that. It'll be kind of inspirational. What do you think, Maria? Should I take a 2-minute pause in my presentation and let folks watch that?
Yeah, I think just to let you know how to do that, just click on this link, and what'll happen is a new tab will open up in your browser. And before you go away to watch it, I need to tell you how to get back here. So I just want to show you the little icon you should look for, which looks like this right here, the one I'm pointing to. So you should see that icon like somewhere in the bottom of your screen. That's this platform. That's Adobe Connect. So go ahead and go watch the YouTube video and then just come back. It should take about 2 minutes, and that way we won't strain the platform here, okay? No watching more than that while you're out there on YouTube. And Fred, just to note that you should see a left and right click button on the bottom corner of the slides. Do you see that? To go forwards and backwards, like the bottom left.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay, I see a few green check marks appearing, and we've gone over the 2-minute mark, so I'm going to assume that folks have stepped outside the webinar, have watched the YouTube video on the new Google Android tablet. Yes, they all have pen capabilities, Michael. Now, the thing that I'm most focused on is making sure, for our purposes in higher education, that these devices are not phones. So, as you see the plethora of tablet PCs being released, I don't want a phone. I want a real computer. I want a PC. So, Susan, my best guess is that if you have an operating system like Windows or Android or WebOS, we're going to have to make sure that products such as Camtasia are available to us. Yeah, like Maria said, this is a new territory that's coming out, and manufacturers realized that many folks are just looking for a device to view content on, like the iPad, which to me doesn't have the features I need to create content. So the thing I'm checking for is, does it have pen-based input? Does it have software to highlight and use digital ink and insert images in? And can it run programs like screen recording software, etc.? The adaptation of technology like this I think is a contributing factor to student success and retention. On the next slide, you can see a comparison of our school versus the average for the state of California. So if you'll look at the two sets of bars on the right, we have about a more than a 10% higher retention rate and more than a 40% success rate for online and distance learning compared to the average for the state of California. So I think we're doing something right. I know that this can be unsettling. So I'm sure many of you feel like all this new technology and new teaching, new tools for teaching and learning are a pain in you know what. But I feel it's important to incorporate technology. I feel it helps engage and motivate students, and I feel that it helps foster the connection between you and your students. If the students are in your classroom and they see that you're not interested in or using or involved in technology that's available to them outside in the real world, it'll add to a sense of disconnect for them and say, oh man, what am I doing? And, how is this class preparing me for the real world? Math is a difficult enough subject anyway to relate to the real world, but if you can incorporate technology, one of those technologies being digital ink, I think it'll really impress your students and contribute to your success in teaching and learning. All right, I think Maria, at this point I'm ready for the first poll. I'd just like to find out a little bit about the 49 people we have here listening to us. Go ahead and click one of the choices to vote, and it'll automatically update the results in live time. Okay, more than half people have participated so far. Excellent. Okay, we're at the 38 mark. We're at the 40 mark. And it looks like most of you don't have a tablet PC, but you're thinking of getting one. A small number of you are like I was when I first got my device. I just couldn't find support and was afraid of a large learning curve, so I hope to help with that. And then we have next is a large group of you who are experienced with the device but interested in more ways to use it. And I applaud that. Even though I've been using the machine, as Maria said, for a long time, 3.5 years, every time I attend a session or watch a video on the internet or visit Maria's Teaching with Technology website, I typically always find another golden nugget. Thanks, Maria. Myself, the tablet PC is probably the one thing in my entire career of teaching that changed my life, and it's for the better. There's a number of reasons that I'll go over in detail with you. One of them, actually, the factors that helped change my life as far as teaching and learning goes were published in an article Maria wrote about a year ago about how to move your lecture to the digital age, and it was published on the MAA website. I'm going to type that link in right now. It's www.maa.org/columns/tech/Feb 2011. Oh, so it's not last year, it was just recently. I'd love to have you go read that, take a look at that, not now, but on your own. There's a number of reasons why the tablet PC changed